Well, I'm finally happy with the tray. It's been polished and had a coat of wax. It's now levelled and ready for the base to go on. I just got to put the gasket. At last we start the assembly, making some progress. I think I might have to move that out a little bit. I have to check the column to see how much room I need for the DRO. I did measure it, but it just, in real life, it doesn't look like enough. The bolt that you see there is the new method for mounting the lower damper with an eye rather than a swivel, a ball joint, a clevis eye, and it allows it to move anywhere along there. And the problem with the existing method, it's tied to the end here, and it's not in a natural position. It's like that. So this would allow the damper to move in a position where it's completely vertical. So bolting the base in, I've put a 1.5 mil nitrile cork gasket to stop any fluid going in the holes and just provide a little bit of isolation, I guess. The bolt holes are really quite floppy, so wrapped a piece of insulating tape so that they're a reasonable fit, so that they don't flop around. The column is now complete and ready for assembly onto the base, and we put a mitre T-slot track to mount the DRO on, so I can adjust the height. And when the mill is operational, I will mill a piece out so that it keeps it vertical, and just lock it with a single nut in the middle. Looks good. So this is the damper rod, and this is the fittings that were on both ends. And what we've done is replace the bottom fitting with a clevis eye. And rather than being fixed to a certain point, this allows it to slide anywhere along that, so that it can be in the most natural position. This is a much better system than the original because it means that, number one, you can actually assemble the damn thing. The existing system located the bottom mount far too close to this surface, so the rod actually wasn't straight, it was coming back at an angle. Secondly, it's almost impossible to get in, even with the column out. It's very, very difficult to get in there. The column is now bolted down. There's no torque figures, so that I use 40 Newton meters, which is, for an 8.8 bolt, is quite a low torque, but it's the torque, probably the absolute torque figure is less important, I think, than making sure that they're evenly torqued down. And we're going to start aligning the the scales. Next job is to put the carriages on. Getting ready to put the vertical carriage on. Everything's had a coat of wax and the paintwork has been polished. I've used Renaissance wax on all of the parts. All the threads have been cleaned. Everything has been cleaned and waxed. And we will rest the carriage on there, make sure that the gib's adjusted and it locks properly. This is the damper, and that's the first fixing to be made. The weight of the carriage should just compress that enough to get the lead screw block in. If not, a little bit of pressure will need to be applied.